Today, we're really embarking on an exploration into, well, the evocative world of poignant poetry and music.
Hmm.
Our source material for this session is this beautiful piece called Khamoshi Raat, a poetic serenade by Musafir.
A lovely title.
It really is. And our mission really is to unpack the artistry, the emotional depth that's woven into this work.
And also, I think, to understand how a specific poem can, go beyond just language barrier.
Exactly, how it connects with those universal human experiences.
Yeah.
As we get into Musafir's Khamoshi Raat, you should pay close attention to how he crafts this quiet night, almost like it's a character itself.
Yeah, reflecting and amplifying what's going on in the human heart. It's always fascinating how one artistic voice can create such a rich, relatable, emotional landscape.
It truly is. So let's talk about the creative force behind this. Prashant v. Shrivastava, but he goes by his pen name, Musafir.
Right, Musafir.
He's a writer, a lyricist, and a Shayar, which is the Urdu word for a poet or bard.
A poet, yeah.
Yes. And his own words capture it nicely. He says his writings say stories, weave some dreams, and account for some incomplete encounters.
That's quite poetic in itself. And he has quite a body of work, doesn't he? Novels, poetry collection.
Oh, he has several novels, a poetry collection, and he's even written lyrics for, well-known Bollywood artists, so he's got range.
And what's really compelling about his journey, I think, is his consistent dedication. He's not just, looking back at past work. He's actively creating now.
He really is.
Yeah.
And in a pretty unique way, actually. Musafir is releasing a new song every single week.
Every week. Wow.
Yeah, from his own voice, his own pen. You can find them on his YouTube channel. It's called Prashant v. Shrivastava Gen Z K-Gine.
Gen Z kick on. Okay.
And they drop every Friday. It's an incredible way to follow his work, see his words come alive.
And it's from that steady stream of creativity that we've picked our focus for today's deep dive, right?
Yeah.
We're zeroing in on one of his nazms. That's a form of Urdu poetry specifically, Urdu the Puthi word, which translates roughly to the quiet of the night. And what's really interesting here is that this nazm, this poem, he's also turned it into a song.
Right, which is also on his YouTube channel.
Exactly. So we have this dual format, the poem and the song, which gives us a really unique angle to explore his craft.
Definitely. So let's set that poetic scene. Because this nazm, it just draws you right in with these really vivid sensory details from the get-go.
It does.
It paints this picture of a quiet night, but it's brimming with memories. And straight away, we get the silken air and the fragrance of the moon.
Fragrance of the moon, yeah.
It's like an invitation, isn't it, into this very specific, almost ethereal emotional space.
Absolutely. And a key element that stands out immediately is how he uses that specific imagery to set a mood. Introspection, gentle longing, it's all there. The very first line, the quiet of the night and your memories. It directly links that external silence to, well, an internal state, remembering someone who's absent.
It's so simple.
My God.
But yeah, incredibly powerful in what it implies.
Exactly.
And it's not just any quiet night, is it? He builds on it.
Yeah.
Describing the air is like silk. There's the fragrance of the moon.
And that's where his artistry really, really shines, I think, that fragrance of the moon.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful bit of synesthesia, isn't it? Blending senses like that, it creates this richer, almost otherworldly feeling.
It really does. It's not just describing, it's inviting us to feel something intangible, which is, a sign of really powerful lyrical poetry.
And this is where the poem shifts, I feel, from just description to that profound emotional resonance, all that sensory input, the silkiness, the moon's fragrance. It's not just there for effect.
No, it builds the foundation.
Right. For the central yearning, the speaker then asks, what a moment it would be if you were also here.
That line. It just hits you, doesn't it?
It really does. That simple, heartfelt question just crystallizes everything. The longing, but also this powerful what if. It elevates the whole moment.
That if you were also here, it's just so poignant. It's such a universal feeling, wishing someone special could share a beautiful moment. We've all felt that, right?
Absolutely.
And the Nasafin goes on to describe how this intoxicating atmosphere affects the speaker. It says, there's an intoxication in the air that makes one feel sleepy.
Like drifting off.
But then Musafir introduces this fascinating little shift, doesn't he?
He does. Despite that sleepy feeling starting to creep in, the poem then brings in the these playful gusts of wind that tangle the hair.
Ah, okay, so it disrupts the calm.
Exactly. It's almost like the night itself, filled with the memory of the beloved, becomes this active participant, playfully tugging at the speaker. And paradoxically, it brings this heightened awareness.
Which leads right into the next line, that declaration. Sipam, sitam, mamkom. Sleep has taken a holiday from my eyes today.
Yeah.
So quiet night, instead of bringing rest, it's actually awakened everything, the senses, the memories.
Yeah.
Sleep becomes impossible.
And haven't we all had those nights where the world is still, but your mind just won't quiet down?
Oh, definitely. He captures that so perfectly, that internal restlessness against the external calm.
And the imagery just keeps deepening, beautifully blending nature with emotion, with This moonlight is a shawl that is wrapped around the body.
A shawl. That's lovely.
Isn't it? He uses personification there, making the moonlight this comforting, almost intimate presence. Like the night itself is offering solace in that solitude.
It feels so gentle, almost like a sigh in the poem. And then, right after, the heart fluttered a little, the eyes closed for a moment. It captures that, fleeting, almost dreamlike state between being awake and asleep, where emotions feel stronger and memories seem so close.
And it all sort of culminates in that delightful, slightly mischievous line.
This night is playful, taking on your charm.
Ah, so the night itself reflects the absent person.
Exactly. It becomes imbued with their playful spirit. And what's really remarkable here, I think, is how Musafir transforms absence into presence.
Right. The beloved isn't physically there. No, but their essence permeates everything. The wind, the night itself. It's not just a poem about longing. It subtly shows how our inner world can project onto our surroundings, redefine them. It makes the abstract feel incredibly tangible.
So thinking about what this means for us, for you listening, this Nazm really evokes those deep feelings, longing, nostalgia, not just through the images like the quiet night, the memories, the silken air, the moon's fragrance.
Although those are powerful on their own.
They are. But it's also through these clever poetic devices, that central yearning. What a moment it would be if you were also here. It resonates so deeply because it's framed within this night that mirrors the speaker's inner state.
A night that shifts,
Yeah.
from sleepy to playful, comforting to restless.
Yeah. Musafir shows us how our environment can become this canvas for our deepest emotions. It's quite profound, really.
And it's worth remembering, Prashant V. Shrivastava, Musafir, he keeps creating and sharing this kind of art, often blending his poetry into song. So we really encourage you to check out the full song version of Ura Makin and his other new songs. They're out every Friday on his YouTube channel, Prashant V. Shrivastava Gen Z Kegan.
Definitely worth exploring. There's always something new, and it's a wonderful way to experience his poetic vision in its fullest form.
Yeah.
So maybe a final thought for you to take away. As you reflect on the quiet night and the silken air from Musafir's Nazm, think about how these kinds of profound sensory experiences shape your own memories, your own unspoken longings. What does it really mean for a piece of art to reach your soul, to touch you like silk touching the root? That's the Arabic word for soul or spirit, as Musafir puts it so beautifully.
That's a lovely way to think about it.
It is. Maybe consider how the artists wish for you that moonlit companionship remains yours, that the air stays silken, and that memories keep their fragrance. How that might apply to your own journey. Something to mull over.